A lot of folks are out there saying, yes, there will be a competition at quarterback in 2024 for your Pittsburgh Steelers. But I seem to think there's a reason Russell Wilson signed so fast with your Steelers. Also, the Pittsburgh Steelers finally solved that punter issue that they've had for a couple seasons. Welcome back to Mic Drop Sports, everybody, for our Tuesday show here on the channel. I appreciate you stopping through. Let's dive into some Steelers talk, some Steelers news. Sorry the upload's a little bit late today. I had to go serve on jury duty this morning. I didn't get picked, but anyway, here we are. We're here talking Steelers on a Tuesday ahead of our live show tonight starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Steel City Live here on Mic Drop Sports. But I want to dive into a couple important things as the Steelers start to push through free agency heading toward the NFL draft right now. The Pittsburgh Steelers bringing in a punter, solving an issue that they've had major inconsistencies at that position for several years now. Well, a couple seasons since they drafted Presley Harvin. A guy with huge upside, big leg, monster size, just a freakish type punter. But you saw Presley Harvin struggle to be consistent inside of a Pittsburgh Steelers helmet. And that is where the Pittsburgh Steelers probably decided to move on, was the inconsistency of Presley Harvin. When you go out to Latrobe, you watch him boom, 70-yard monster bombed, just crushing the football. And then you see him in a game shank a 10, 20-yard punt, like absolutely junior Bush League shit that Presley Harvin was putting out there on game day. Now, he did shine. He would have some moments and some time where he would just be really consistent, really hitting good punts. And then all of a sudden, it would just implode on Presley, and it would be a very big struggle for him to come back down to earth and become consistent again. But the Pittsburgh Steelers now signed Cameron Johnston from the Houston Texans, a 7-year veteran in the league. A guy that's averaged, 43.7 yards per punt through his NFL career. He has led the league in punt average at times for yardage, things of that nature. He has definitely provided a consistency at the punter position for the Houston Texans, in the Philadelphia Eagles, now with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now things are leaking about the terms of the deal for Johnston. Now the Steelers lock him up for 3 years, supposedly. This is what the contract is supposed to be. 3 years worth $9 million, roughly averaging to $3 million. We don't know how that will be set up. Maybe there's bonuses, maybe things of that nature to alleviate cap hits. There's a lot of that. But the Pittsburgh Steelers lock up their guy for roughly $9 million for 3 seasons, and they're going to have hopefully some consistency now at that punter position, and it really does do big things for your football team. And I'm not sure a lot of fans really recognize how important the punter position is, but it is a super important position, guys. It flips field position. It could hurt you desperately or badly at times. Sometimes you desperately need a big punt to get out from behind the 8-ball when you're trapped down low inside of your own red zone, inside of your own 20-yard line, where you need that punter to be consistent and boot a 40, 50-yard punt, You need that from your punter. But now I think the Pittsburgh Steelers have solved that issue. I think Johnston's going to come in, be a real pro's pro, be a guy that can hold for Chris Boswell. JD, one of our loyal listeners, asked that question last night on our live show. And yes, some of you said that he is a holder, so we did look into it. He can hold, and that should be the setup for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I look for them to try to re-sign Christian Kuntz, the long snapper, that has been a very stable presence inside of this special teams room. And I think you're going to have a Kuntz, Johnston, Boswell set up for your field goals and extra point tries. And I think that could be a very good system, especially with the leg of Johnston and his consistency in the punt game, which won't destroy the Pittsburgh Steelers when they've had struggles on offense, in particular, putting the defense against with their backs against the wall. So we're going to see that hopefully improve in 2024. But the big one and the elephant in the room is why Russell Wilson signed so quickly with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And there is a ton of things being said through the media by the Steelers everywhere talking about the Steelers really wanting a true quarterback competition for 2024 between Kenny Pickett and Russell Wilson. And don't forget, Mason Rudolph hasn't wrote off returning. Maybe he does see a path to start here in the Steel City. Maybe that is what sways him to come back. But Mason will continue to explore this free agency market. He is considered as maybe a primary backup type guy. But if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, getting Mason Rudolph back on the cheap to be in your quarterback room as the third string guy would not be a issue, would be a great benefit if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers to have more consistency in that room. But again, why did Russell Wilson sign so quickly? And everyone talking about this competition. Please, guys, I have to say this, and I'm not being an asshole. I'm not trying to dog the Steelers and call them liars, because I'm not. But when I look at this, and I've said this for now weeks, there will be no quarterback competition if a veteran is brought in here. I have been highly consistent on saying that. Russell Wilson signed for one reason. He was told that there is a tremendous chance, or that he is the starter for 2024, and that would not have happened with the signing of Russell Wilson here in Pittsburgh at $1.2 million. If he wasn't having some guarantees and he didn't feel like that he was really being propped up to be the starter for 2024 ahead of a struggling Kenny Pickett numerically, a statistic guy that has been poor, very poor in his statistics is what I'm trying to say. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, yes, they're not getting younger at the position. They've gotten a little bit older with a guy that will be 36 years old. But I can almost say with certainty, there will be no quarterback competition. There may be one to appease the fan base or appease the media visually to where you see them splitting some reps early in camp. But you will see the veteran rise to the top. Why? Because the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking for that veteran presence, that guy that is going to be stable, that knows how to win. And I think it's all part of what Omar Khan is trying to build. Put excellent pieces around a guy that is good to serviceable, that has been there before, that knows how to reach the mountaintop, guys. And I just want to be realistic with you. I don't want you as the fan base, Steeler Nation, going into 2024, especially OTAs, mini camps, whatever, Latrobe, Pennsylvania for training camp. The preseason games. I don't want you going into them thinking that there is probably a chance in hell that Kenny Pickett starts, because that chance is probably so minimal. Kenny Pickett would have to be so far ahead of Russell Wilson in terms of consistency, being good, improvement on Kenny's end to upend a guy like Russell Wilson. He was brought in here to start. And if you're Russell Wilson, you are coming for one reason. You were told that you have an excellent opportunity or that you are the starter, or otherwise you wouldn't have taken the deal so quickly. He had other interviews, other meetings with other teams lined up after the Steelers. He met with the Giants beforehand. There were opportunities, and I'm sure he could have squeaked out a little bit more money in terms of, that team that's picking him up. Yes, he could have probably got closer to the mid 40s in his total salary with what the Broncos are picking up. But Russell Wilson wants a chance, I think, to be a winner, a chance to play for an organization that has a legacy that is all about winning Lombardi trophies. And an organization like the Pittsburgh Steelers fit that for Russell Wilson. Give him that opportunity to come in with a young weapon like a George Pickens, a Deontay Johnson, a Jalen Warren, a Najee Harris, a group of young tight ends that I think could be very good in 2024. Also, an offensive line that's starting to get built. They have some opportunity to possibly fill that center spot that's so desperately needed, that right tackle spot. If they fill those couple holes, you're looking at an offensive line that could be really good in 2024. And whoever's the quarterback could have a real sense of comfortability behind that line if they are able to put the right pieces in place. And it's just a couple spots that are not far off. What if they bring in a young stud center and then go out and get a young stud right tackle, and you're looking at an offensive line that could be so young and in place for many years with Isaac Seumalo as the veteran, James Daniels as the veteran on that offensive line, guiding and meshing that unit together and letting one of those guys like a Broderick Jones become that true leader of that offensive line, really let them emerge as an elite group. It could definitely take shape that way. And if you're the Steelers, you have some available cap money as of today, this morning, as of like 10 o'clock when I checked, it's about $25 million in available cap space. So if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's ahead of all the restructures that you could do. So what are you going to do if you're the Steelers here now? You have many paths you can take. And now that you bring in a veteran like Russell Wilson, he signs quickly because he knows the plan. He knows what Arthur Smith is going to bring to the table for this offense. Knows how that he thrives inside of an offense that's built like Arthur Smith likes to play football. That is where Russell Wilson shines, and he recognized it. Russell did his homework. Do I agree with this signing? Absolutely not, and I've told you my reasons why. I don't like getting older. But I got to get behind him now, and I got to do the reporting, and I got to look at what Russell Wilson can now do positive for your Pittsburgh Steelers. And yes, we will look at the negatives. We will look at Kenny Pickett and maybe a possible return to Mason Rudolph. If not, the Steelers going out and getting young in the draft. And getting a young quarterback that has some huge upside, that maybe you find a gem, a diamond in the rough late in the draft. There are some of those guys, I believe, in this draft class at the quarterback position. Guys that you could work with at the third quarterback position to allow them to learn for a couple seasons, to really let them grow. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers can benefit greatly from that, moving that guy up after a couple years to that backup role. And then whenever, an injury or a player in front of him plays bad, let them get their shot after getting familiar and learning and growing inside of the NFL. That's where the Steelers need to maybe figure this thing out long term. But in the meantime, you have a guy like Russell Wilson. And people were talking about maybe Kenny Pickett moving on, getting some trade bait or being some trade bait. I don't think that he has the value to be able to really make a return on your investment, considering what you spent for him if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers with the 20th overall pick in 2022. I don't think that you can find a trade that would be comparable to that. You'd be taking a significant loss business-wise if you were to trade Kenny Pickett at this point in his career. You might as well keep him and bury him on the roster if you don't want to use him right now. Or if you want to increase his draft stock, make him the starter and allow him to go out there and see what happens. I don't know. But if you're the Steelers, I don't think trading him would really be a great return on your investment right now. I think you would have to really wait for a positive, great deal, a desperate team. Maybe after camp start and there's several injuries throughout the league, and people are desperately digging for a young quarterback that has a little bit of upside, and that may end up being one Kenny Pickett. Maybe so, but we'll see. But I think Russell Wilson is really excited to play here, and I think there were several reasons why he came, and one being Arthur Smith, two being Mike Tomlin, three being Omar Khan, and also he did his homework on what this team is going to look like in 2024 and how they are trying to build this team. And I think Russell realized that that's where he plays his best football, is inside this type of environment. So that's just what I wanted to say for today's episode. There should be a lot more going on, guys. This is going to be a big week for your Steelers. Look for more signings. Look for some restructures on some contracts to free up even more available cap space for your Steelers, and see how this thing all unfolds. And it's going to give us a greater insight onto what they're really truly aiming for in the 2024 draft this April, and what the Steelers are going to have to do or come up with. Their backs may be against the wall trying to find a center prospect. They may not be able to secure a veteran here inside of free agency. However, you have guys like Nate Herbig, James Daniels, guys like that can play the position. So they are not totally asked out, but hey, you're going to see a lot clearer of a picture here as we move forward through this week. This week will be a real telltale, in my opinion. Now, things will start to slow down here in free agency. Now that the big names are off the board, you're going to start to see teams really start to strategically try to place new players through free agency and really do their homework on them to try to get the best fit for their franchise. But you're still going to see some big names move. Maybe some definite moves for your Pittsburgh Steelers here, as I can see some restructures possibly happening, and hopefully a veteran center, maybe a cornerback, something along those lines. Hell, maybe even that slot receiver that we say that the Steelers so desperately need after the release of Allen Robinson. I think that could be a big one, and I think the Steelers are truly looking for a wide receiver here in free agency. And this deep draft class of wide receivers could play right into the Steelers' hands, considering they have two 4th round picks, and I think that could really be a positive for your Steelers if they were able to secure a young stud wide receiver and allow them a little bit of time to grow inside of their NFL helmet. All right, guys, that's it for today. Don't forget our live show tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Mic Drop Sports. The show's called Steel City Live. We'd enjoy you stopping through. We have an amazing response every night, tons of chats, tons of fans in there talking, going back and forth, talking football. And it's not all Steelers. It's not all just one particular team. You get questions from everywhere. We have people that listen and watch from all over the country, even the world. We have people from other parts of the world that listen. So, Canada, we have Australia people that even came on when Mark come on. We've had people from all over, all walks of life. It's a very diverse group here with the Mic Drop Mafia here on Mic Drop Sports, and it's awesome, man. So I don't want you guys to miss that conversation. So come on every night. And Wednesday, guys, we will be moving our Wednesday live show to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to give our friend Sean a little bit of time now that there's been a time change here, with the spring forward, fallback, all that bullshit. So now we are 6 hours ahead of Sean. So we had to increase the time and push it back a little bit. That way we can always ensure that our friend Sean can join us on Wednesdays. And so possibly maybe some weekend shows. We don't always do weekend shows because the weekend is kind of my time. But we're going to try to do a little bit more content to give you guys a little bit more on the weekends and not take that 2-day break. So again, guys, don't forget to, before I go, get your membership right now. We're raffling off a James Harrison photo from Super Bowl 43 and his iconic pick six. We are going to be raffling that off to Mic Drop Mafia members. It's 99 cents a month. All you have to do is go to the membership tab on the channel page, and you will find that at the far right. If you scroll over on the tabs, you'll find the membership tab. Hit that, join for 99 cents a month. That gets you your entry in to win the James Harrison framed photo, and we will be picking that in April. My son will pick that for me. We'll put everybody's name that's a Mic Drop Mafia member inside of a hat, a bucket, whatever we got to, and we will pick a name out live here on Steel City Live here on Mic Drop Sports, and we will allow my son to pick that, and you guys can have a chance to win a great photo. Let me see. I have it here. There he is. Right there. James Harrison. Looks beautiful, perfect. That's a little bit of a collector's item. So I wanted to get one lucky fan to have that, and I will take care of the shipping and handling and send it out to you, and we'll be able to get your address and all that fun stuff. But the only way to register to win it is to become a member, because I want to give it to members, people that are always stopping by, and I want to reward people that are loyal to the channel, because I really, truly appreciate it, and this channel would be nothing without you guys. As we inch toward our 5,000 subscriber goal, that's where we're going for here this off season, and I think we can hit it before summer here. So guys, let's crack that, share it, like it, make sure you hit that like button. That's the most important. But I'll quit rambling, guys. That's the info about the channel. Don't forget about our episode April 1st, we will have Merrill Hodge, Pittsburgh Steeler, Pittsburgh type legend, Merrill Hodge. It's an exciting day. April 1st, we will have Merrill on the live show. You guys will be able to load up the chat with questions. We'll pick a few of them that we will ask Merrill Hodge. We won't be able to get to them all, but the live chat will be going, so we'll be able to see that. We'll have our moderators in there so nobody can be crazy, but we will have Merrill Hodge live here on Steel City Live, only on Mic Drop Sports. And you won't want to miss that on April 1st, because Merrill is one of the best human beings, man. If you watch some of his interviews, he is so super cool to listen to. And I look forward to meeting Merrill on here and having a great conversation. That will be ahead of the NFL draft, and it'll be an exciting time for the NFL period of gaining players and looking at college guys, and Merrill always has some great insight on that. Also, we'll talk about some of the things that concern Merrill, like his book, things of that nature, things that maybe you want to know about inside of Merrill Hodge's life. So that's what's happening here, guys. I know that was a long spiel, but I had to give you all the information, and I want to continually remind you what is coming up here on Mic Drop Sports, because this is an exciting time to become a Mic Drop Mafia member, a true exciting exciting time right now. And we are growing this channel like crazy. And it has been an amazing ride. And it's only going to get better and better and better. So until next time, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. So until tonight, peace.